Boker Tov, baby, baby, baby. Good morning, everybody. I'm greeting you from an undisclosed location out here on the veldt with the wildlife. Delighted to welcome you to the morning session. We're finishing up in our 7th week. Pardon me. Excuse me. Of Malkhut. 7th week of Malkhut. Oh. And the 50 gates opening onto the 50 gates, the 50th gate opening onto our durable wisdom. Our durable wisdom. Our durable wisdom. When we earn our transformative enterprise by receiving our book. My sacred partner is somewhere around here. We're entrusted with the care of a grandchild, so we never know how that's going to work out. So maybe hearing from her. And we're finishing up on the 8 chapters that we studied of Shir HaShirim, of the song of all songs. We've really enjoyed this. In our last series, when we took on the Psalms, we went through all 150 Psalms during the shutdown, much of it during what I think is, in my lifetime, my adult lifetime, one of the darkest times of our country that I can remember. We went through all 150 songs daily like this, and out of it we came with some beautiful texts, some of which we recorded. And we made a lot of music came out of it. In this series, a lot of text came out of it. I've written a lot of pieces, many, many pieces. I suppose I'll compile them in some way once we finish. But here we're in the 7th week, the 7th energy. Every week is given over to a particular energy. And this week's, and the energy that we're dealing with this week is the energy we call it Malkhut, also called Shekhinah, also called Kala, the 7th energy that we deal with, which is the 10th Sfirot. We'll get more into that later. And it's what I call the spigot, the funnel. It's the overflow of divine energy as it spills into the world. To the extent that it does spill into the world, it spills through Malkhut. So we'll start with a prayer, and then I got a new piece to accompany the prayer. So many pieces. Ha'arev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei toretcha b'finu ובפי עמך בית ישראל ונחיה אנחנו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה ברוך אתה אדוני המלמד תורה לעמו ישראל. Oh God, pause. Here's the new piece. I call this prayer for the day, the teachings pleasant. All of us learning for pleasure, for cleansing, for its own sake, lishma. For what we know becoming what we do, the works of our hands. All of us who come onto screens, into circles, we do not wait for inspiration. We prepare the space. When the space is prepared, the word ascends. The music plays itself. Shekhinah settles within every song, a song of ascent. A shepherd led us to the border, to the mountain of God. Blessed are you who teaches in this fashion. Amen. Okay. So today I think it's the 47th day, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me check my 47th day here of the Omer. Uh, this week is Hod, the energy of Hod within the context of Malkhut. The week of Malkhut, an interior notion, when what we learn becomes what we do, the wisdom expressed in our walk in the world, the energy imagined in our feet. Halachti, ani holech, ani holechet. Prayer for the day. We did that. The week of Malchut, body wisdom, complete, expressing through our feet, walking wisdom, local, and how we walk in the world, holding breath for living truth. Breathe deep through the nose, hold it at the peak of breath. Exhale through the mouth and be what you've learned as evidenced through your walk in the world today. Hod, you heard it coming. Be careful of the strut. Moderation, in other words, make it a spiritual experience. The key, first triad, chesed, love, gevura, restraint, tiferet, beauty. Second triad, netzach, you think you know, Hod, you don't know. Yesod, foundation in the body. And Malchut, the spigot. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר. Pardon me. היום שבעה ורבים יום שהם שישה שבועות וחמישה ימים לעומר. Today is day 47 of the Omer, which is 6 weeks and 5 days of the Omer. Bless our president, our vice president, our mayor, and all their noble retinue who are working so hard for us. We're drinking a Shmata Dika tea I brought down from Canada. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהכל נהיה בדברו. It's good. The counting of the Omer, as taught by the poets of rock and roll, Larry and Ben Bag. Chesed, loving kindness overflowing. With Gevura, love not fade away. The third pole, beauty, Tiferet, bright, dark, and deep. Netzach feels like we've been here before, looking for soul in Hod, with Yesod, a pleasure ground, cradle of the river and the seas, Malkhut, inward and quiet, God, you jigsaw timer. With Malkhut, the spigot opens. Do not freak out. Turn it. War of the worlds. Bless your deplorable exile, the awful sounds at night, what falls out the sky, the machines of watchfulness, the pain of abandonment, not being seen, to see and express, to believe we are free, we are alive. I may not know my purpose, but I show up in so many ways. We do not own ourselves. Four mothers, they could make peace. Oh, so let's see. Hello, Jody, Alyssa, hi. Karen, Sam, bless you. Why we count in threes during the Omer? Look ahead. What was missing last week may appear this week, or together they may make a unity that will be expressed next week. 3 weeks. Last week, this week, next week. That's why we think in threes during the Omer. Amen. Read. Well, we're almost at the completion of our journey, so to speak, is what we've earned during this period of the Omer period. Is a period of transformative energy where we are transforming lower energy into higher energy, preparing, which is serious work. It's serious work. So there's a cast, there's a kind of a mournfulness, a feeling through this period, even separate from the events of our time and of our location and the horrors in our country, even separate from that. We move towards what our goal, the reward of the wisdom that we receive with our book at the 50th gate, as we open the 50th gate. Every day, another opening, every day, a threshold experience as we move through the transformative possibilities of these days. And of course, when we come to Malkhut, by the time we come here, we are focused on what we know becoming what we do, how we walk in the world, what to do. What to do becomes the question. What to do? Question mark. So before we finish, I'm going to finish with a prayer for healing, of course, the healing of the country, for sure, the healing of the nation, the peace of the near and the peace of the far, for those who we know who are in need of healing in our locations, and for those we don't know. And this piece that has been rewritten during this period to acknowledge the difficulty of the time in which we live and the events uh, in which we live through. This piece was written last week during the week of Yesod, body wisdom, when we first are introduced to the idea, when it becomes primary to us that what we know becomes what we do, the works of our hands. This Isaiah's plan for peace rewrite. What does it mean? It's a good question, but not the only question. Now, what to do? First, the silent heart of grief, which precedes the what it means question. The world cracked. Hate corrupts, love repairs. We know this. First response, the heart of mourning, opening to the heart of wisdom. Sometime into the future, we will respond by knowing what to do. For now, open a moment to the suffering, still a part of our story, a part of the world's story. Pray for peace in the grandest and most individual ways, peace of the near and peace of the far. Leave the wound open, let it bleed. Sometime into the future, there may be healing for the losses and some sort of comfort for us all. Amen. Written the week of Yesod, body wisdom, when what we know becomes what we do. Yeah. Thanks for showing up, everybody. We appreciate your presence here every morning. We truly do. We enjoy doing these sessions, and always something surprising. We're always surprised by what emerges. רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body, for those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael. On my left, the angel Gabriel. In front of me, the angel Uriel. Behind me, the angel Raphael. But my head, but my head, but my head. Shekinah. ברוך אתה אדוני רופא החולים בזרעי בריתינה. Amen. You know, we had planned we're going to roll out a concert tonight we were going to do for our Psalms project, the Duke of Psalms, we call it, the material we've recorded. It's a wonderful piece. It's really beautiful stuff. And one of our key players got sick. So we're postponing it. I suppose everybody knows by now, but we're going to postpone it till later in the summer where everybody's feeling better. Thanks for coming, everybody. We appreciate it very much. We love you. We'll be here tomorrow morning, too. And it'll be our last session, I think, before Shavuot. Yeah. So see you then. Thanks.